Welcome to the 21st day of your average Among Us game. In our security room, Red crewmate is leaning back on their chair while Blue and Green are both staring directly at the monitors. It's a rather paranoid-inducing setup, but there's not much else to do here, so they might have a point. Cameras flicker through various parts of the ship, including electrical, where we see white, orange and black sitting around a table seemingly discussing something. Then suddenly the door slides open and Yellow rushes inside, grabs whatever it is that they were talking about and darts off again. Back in security, Blue dramatically points at the screen. I swear Yellow was venting in the cafeteria just now. Red looks over his shoulder at Blue unimpressed and replies, "That's a mop closet, genius." As if to prove Red right, Yellow reappears on screen pushing out a mop and bucket combo. They're seen through the monitor shoving food into their visor opening like popcorn. "See, look at Yellow. He's inhaling food like a black hole," Green accuses. "That's just Cafeteria Tuesday," Red replies flatly as Blue runs their hand through their hair, frustrated. Or he's fueling up to strike," they suggest nervously. The beeping coming from the security chair grows louder and suspicion even wilder. "It's quiet, too quiet," Green mutters. Suddenly, Blue jumps up. "Wait, Purple just stood still for 5 seconds. Clear imposter sign," they exclaim pointing at the monitor. Red slams his stubby leg on the console in annoyance. "Or lag," he deadpans. Green leans closer to the screen and whispers dramatically, "Or plotting the galaxy's end." "Same thing," they reply with a shiver. Sure enough, when we cut to the camera from earlier, Purple is still standing ominously still in the hallway. "See, just standing there menacingly," Blue squeaks. Red turns to face Blue. "Bruh, sometimes I stand still to think about snacks." "Come on," he sighs. "They don't think about snacks. They are the snack," Green says knowingly. Suddenly the cameras begin to switch frantically, throwing Red, Blue and Green off balance. "What the?" Red starts. But before anyone can react, the camera feed cuts to a close-up of Purple's visor. The purple glare sends shivers down our spines. We pull back to see Purple still standing in the hallway, but now they're looking directly at the camera. "Oh," Blue whispers, hiding behind Green. Suddenly the lights in the security room go out, plunging them into darkness. "What the heck? What's happening?" Green asks, startled. The camera feed is now fuzzed out with static. An eerie hum fills the air. Guys," Blue whimpers. "I don't like this. Let's get out of here." But Red's already making his way to the door. "We've got to check the cameras somewhere else. Stay close," he instructs. As they make their way through the darkened ship, the camera feed behind them begins to show the various members of the crew rushing about in panic. "We gotta find the emergency meeting button," someone says frantically. "But where is it?" Another voice calls back, equally frantic. "Guys, I found it," someone else announces. "In the electrical room. Hurry up." Red, Blue and Green reach the security cameras near the reactor. The screens flicker on, showing us a panicked mess. Everyone's running around screaming and pointing. Then suddenly the feed cuts to the cafeteria. "Everyone look," someone yells. "Yellow was right. There's a ton of those things in the vents," they exclaim. "Guys, what do we do?" Another voice calls out. "If we leave the ship, those things will follow us and kill us in space," someone else replies grimly. "Yeah, but we can't hide here forever. We need to fight back," a confident voice suggests. "But how? They're too strong," someone says dejectedly. "Yeah, no one's gonna listen to me, huh? Thanks a lot," the confident voice mutters sarcastically. Meanwhile, Red, Blue and Green are making their way toward the conference room. "So where do you guys think the imposter is?" Blue asks nervously. "I don't know," Green replies. "But I have a bad feeling about this. We should split up and search. Meet back here in 2 minutes," Red decides. "Okay, but be careful out there," Blue warns. And so the three head off in separate directions, each on the lookout for danger and deception. Meanwhile, in the conference room, everyone gathers around the table. All right, let's vote. Who do you think the imposter is? Someone asks. A few people whisper among themselves, presumably trying to figure out who it could possibly be. How about Pink? Someone suggests. No, I saw them vent in security. They definitely aren't the imposter. Someone else insists. Well, what about Black? I haven't seen them since electrical. Someone else suggests. Me neither. They're probably the imposter. Another person agrees. Oh my God. Don't look at me like that. I didn't do anything. Well, maybe a little bit of sabotage. But I only did it to protect us from those creatures, okay? I never wanted to hurt anyone. Pink argues frantically. Okay. Let's just vote and get this over with. Someone else suggests. Cameras pan across the faces of the crew. We see fear, sadness, anger, and frustration. One by one, they raise their fingers and shout, Black. The scene fades to black as the voting concludes. We hear a loud crash followed by the sound of heavy footsteps. Someone screams, crap, they're here. Run for your life. We hear someone else shouting, hide. There's glass shattering and more footsteps. I'm stuck. Please help me. Someone cries out. Then a voice yells, I found another one. This is great. More footsteps and screams. Then silence. Red steps cautiously into the conference room. Hello, anyone here? He calls out. There's no response. He walks over to the voting screen and sees that it is still displaying the results of the previous round. Black, 6 votes. He reads aloud. Wow, that doesn't seem right. Where's everybody? Suddenly, a dark figure emerges from behind the table. Boo, they say with a smile. You scared me, Red says with a sigh of relief. I thought you were the imposter, or one of those space monsters or something. He explains. Now, the figure replies with a shrug. I was just checking to see if you were the imposter. No need to scare me like that, Red retorts. Well, sorry, the figure mutters. Anyway, where's Blue and Green? Red asks. I haven't seen them since we started searching. The figure replies. Well, let's go find them then, Red says, starting for the door. Wait, I think I saw them head towards the engine room. The figure calls after him. Thanks, Red says. Meanwhile, in the engine room, Blue and Green are huddled in a corner. Do you hear that? Blue asks nervously. Yeah, Green replies. Those footsteps getting closer. We gotta hide. They dive under some nearby pipes. Footsteps come closer, then suddenly stop right outside of their hiding spot. Blue and Green hold their breath. They hear a muffled voice right outside of the pipes. I wonder where they could have gone, they hear. Let's check around these pipes, they hear. Yeah, good idea, another voice replies. Hey, you guys hear that? They ask. Yeah, they reply. Do you think it's the imposter or one of those space monsters? Maybe both, they reply with a shrug. Let's just keep searching, they say. And with that, the footsteps move away again. Blue and Green let out a sigh of relief. That was close, Blue whispers. Yeah, Green replies. But we gotta keep moving. They could be anywhere. As they continue searching, the scene fades to black, and we hear someone say, Welcome to your nightmare.